How's it going? This is Luke Mallett calling.
Hey, Luke, it's Paul Wolf from Q106.5. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely. How you doing, Paul?
Oh, doing well, doing well. Excited to have you guys a part of Bangor On Tap this year. Perhaps I was a little overexcited when I found out.
No, we like the sounds of that, yeah. Overexcited is good.
Well, I've wanted to start off by saying Falling of the Pine, I absolutely loved that album. I bought it on MP3 and on vinyl.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was the first one that we released on vinyl. And it was kind of exciting for us to get some records shipped. It was something we'd always wanted to do.
The concept of the album was just such a unique idea.
Thank you. It was my brother's brainchild. It kind of started with a song or two, and it just snowballed from there. And we're having so much fun that we turned it into a whole project. But he was originally the one that found that book in my mother's library, and we took it from there. It started out as maybe one or two tracks for fun, and we just couldn't stop doing it.
Now, you got a new tune, Long Black Braid. Is that going to be on the next album?
It is. So we released Long Black Braid a few months ago. It was we've been working on the new record for the last 6 months or so, and that one was we've been playing it live for quite a while, so we just kind of threw it out into the digital world early. And then just this past week, we released a new video for the second single, which is Vive l'Acadie.
I've been trying to pronounce that all day long.
Yeah, Vive l'Acadie, which you will hear. If you go up to Fort Kent and start shouting Vive l'Acadie, they will all know exactly what you mean. But the next single, Vive l'Acadie, is actually going to be available digitally on March 9th. For now, the video is just out and floating around, and the new record is wrapped. And I think the release is set for June. So June 15th, we'll have another full-length original record out, which it's been a few years since we put out a full-length original. Falling of the Pine was kind of a concept. It wasn't actually our lyrics. It was fun to do, but we're kind of excited to get a whole bunch of our own songs out there again.
Absolutely. And are you going to release that one on vinyl too?
I sure hope so. We haven't put the order in yet, but that is the plan.
Awesome. You guys are going to be hitting the road after Bangor On Tap. You got John Fishman of Fish playing drums along with you. How did you guys link up with him?
Him and his whole family, actually. His wife grew up visiting Maine when she was a kid, and him and his family have lived here for a number of years now. He's a town selectman up in Lincolnville. So I think there was part of that Maine connection definitely helped. You know, a lot of the same feelings as we have for our home state. But when they were doing their run, the Baker's Dozen run down in New York, we played a pre-party kind of around the corner, and we ran into somebody there from his team, and they ended up giving us all tickets to the show that night. So we got into the show at Madison Square Garden, and it kind of just went from there. It wasn't long afterwards that they asked us if we would want him to sit in at the Union Fair last summer.
Yeah.
And we did it. We said sure, and no rehearsal. We kind of just did a dry run. We all showed up and shook hands and dove in. So we got to do that, which was fun enough.
Yeah.
And then when they opened their general store, they opened the Lincolnville General Store recently, which is a really cool old building that they completely rehabilitated. You know, they brought it back to life. Mm-hmm. And we played the grand opening with him also. So it just kind of went from there. I think we heard shortly afterwards. He said, you know, he had contacted our people and said, you know, I think I'd like to do some more shows, and we just kind of ran with it. If he was going to have fun, and we knew we were going to have fun, we figured we'd make a whole tour out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't turn down the drummer of Fish, you know?
No, absolutely not. It's fun, and it's fun for all of us because it's kind of out of all of our wheelhouse. It's definitely something that's out of his comfort zone as far as stylistically, and the same for us. It's kind of fun to have him. You know, he's known as one of the great improvisational drummers of our generation, so it gives some of those jams room to breathe.
Absolutely, and you know, not to mention, it just kind of gives that kind of jam vibe to the shows, I would imagine.
Yeah, which is something that we kind of end up leaning towards a lot of the time anyway. You know,
yeah.
There's a lot of people always bring up similarities to the live show and some of the classic Southern rock jam stuff. You know, there's a lot of Allman Brothers references, and you know, it's a world that we have fun dabbling in, which has kind of been always part of our deal. Is we tend to cross back and forth between genres, which helps and hurts us, I think, at the same time. But
well, I love that about the music. You know, you can't really just say the Mallett Brothers Band is this type of music. It's just totally its own thing.
Change it up all the time.
Yeah. Now, what can we expect from the Bangor On Tap set? I can only imagine it's going to span quite a few albums.
Yeah, absolutely. And generally the live show is an ever-changing thing. There's definitely the past year or so we've been throwing a lot of new stuff into the set list. So there's definitely a lot of new songs that are going to get played and a lot of the old standbys. You know, there's definitely a few that are requested every single night.
I can only imagine that Tip 'Em Up is a highly requested one.
It absolutely is. It's always been a crowd favorite.
It is. Anytime the family and I go out on the ice, it is always a tradition to listen to the tune.
Oh, that's perfect.
It brings along the flags. Well, Luke, thank you so much again for calling in, and we are looking forward to Bangor On Tap on Saturday.
We appreciate it. It's going to be a good time.